All right, new kitting up time. We're doing this is the sticker. You can see I've got it laid out in the background, but so you can see the entire kit. It is here. It is Wanda Munn's Violet Persuasion with Diamond Art Club. It has 57 colors. Looks like 1, 2, 3 fairy dust, 1 metallic, and 2 ABs. So quite a bit to get through. I've already cut up all the bags and have those laid out to make it go a little bit faster. I also have put the stickers from the sticker sheet on the jars here. I should probably get that into screen where you can actually see it while I'm working on it. All right, so starting with the ABs. The first one is this kind of blue color. I like it. This is a round kit. I got this one off Amazon. If you watched my planning the fourth quarter with me, this was the kit that I had planned. I thought about switching it out with Santa's List, but I decided this one is kind of a smaller kit. It is 32 inches by 52.7, so I should be able to get through it relatively quickly, and I still might do Santa's List. You never know. We'll see what I get to next. The next AB is this orange one, which is, what is this? Oh my gosh, I just flung those at myself. 132. Hopefully I will not run out of those. So as I'm filming this, this is Sunday. You will not see this come out until Saturday, but now that I'm working again, I have to get a little bit ahead on my videos. So I hope you had a good week and enjoyed your weekend, which is last weekend. I have had a good weekend. Yesterday I went for a hike with a couple ladies that I have met here. So that was fun. We did a hike called the Morel Falls hike, which is near Sealy Lake, Montana, and it's about, I want to say it's about 2.5, 3 miles each way to get to the falls. So we did that, and it was a good hike. I'd say it took us about 3 hours total. We spent a little bit of time at the Morel Falls. It's very aptly named. You're walking to the falls at the end of the trail, and it was an interesting hike because we saw a lot of bear sign. So first of all, you know, it's fall, so the bears are trying to fatten up. They're trying to prepare themselves for hibernation, and so they're not paying attention as much. So, you know, you kind of have to be a little bit more aware. At some point in the winter, they'll go into hibernation, and, you know, they could still come out, but you don't have to worry about them as much. But this hike in particular was interesting because we saw a lot of bear sign. At one point on a probably like a half-mile portion of this trail, we saw seven piles of bear scat, and there was only one other car in the trailhead parking lot when we got there. So we were we were considering turning around for a second after we had seen all this bear scat, but like the reality of it is up here that if you're gonna turn around every time you see a pile of bear scat, you are probably not going to be hiking very much. Now, I don't go on hikes alone. If I was alone and I saw 7 piles of bear scat, I would swiftly turn around. I might even turn around if there was only 2 of us. There were 3 of us, which made me feel a little better. And this is not a trail where people camp overnight, so I knew there were some other hikers ahead of us. We did end up seeing them They didn't say anything to us about whether they saw any bears or not, so I'm guessing that they didn't. But we also saw, in addition to the 7 piles of bear scat, we saw some pretty ginormous tracks, and we saw a lot of tracks on the trail, a lot. I took a picture, or actually one of my friends took a picture of one of the very visible tracks, and I put my hand down next to it so that you can kind of get a visual idea of what size that the track was. Pretty big. That's actually what my hand is next to, is the back feet or back footprint of a grizzly bear. And then you can see in the photo as well, there is another paw print kind of up and to the left a little bit, and that is the front paw print. They walk kind of pigeon-toed and oddly. So, but yeah, those tracks were all over the trail. We did make it to the waterfall, and I will insert a picture of the waterfall. It is beautiful. There are like 7 layers of it, or 7 different kind of falls, if you will. So I've done that hike several times. I actually did it not long after we got here this summer, but I'd done it in years past as well. It's a good hike to take people on that come into town, because it's not especially treacherous. But yeah, so we ended up getting through the hike. We didn't see any bears. It was all good, but man, for a second, we really thought that we were going to have an issue. Before we went hiking on Saturday, I didn't do a whole lot. I got up and cleaned, which was uneventful, as you might expect. And after the hike, we ended up getting pizza. There's people that make pizza out of like a pizza shop that they built in their yard. That's the best way I can say it. But they make actually very good pizza out of a wood-fired oven. We got one that's called the Northern Italian, that has artichoke and olives and sausage and I feel like something else on it, but I'm not, of course, cheese and sauce, but I feel like there's something else that I'm forgetting. But it's really good. I like it a lot. And then today, Sunday, I have just been, it's almost 6 o'clock in the evening right now, and I'm trying to figure out where the day went. Let's see, this morning, I filmed another video. I filmed the last video that you would have seen, which was the quarter in review. And I filmed the intro to that quarter in review, so it would have been the one where you can see the snow that had fallen on the mountains. And then we went to church, and then we went to our property, and we cut up firewood and stacked up firewood for about 2 hours, and made a quick run to the store. I made some dough for bread before we went to the property, and then once we got back, baked that and did a little bit of just deleting things on my email for work so that I wouldn't have to worry about them tomorrow, and just had tacos for dinner. Now I'm filming this video. So I did not watch any football today. I'm probably going to watch, I think that the Sunday night football, I'm probably going to watch when I get done with this. Already a decent amount of static with these drills, but I've only had one that was particularly bad. This one isn't great, but I'm going to make it work. So yeah, it's been a good weekend. Friday also was our anniversary, and we went to a restaurant in Big Fork, which is about probably 45 minutes to an hour, probably maybe somewhere in between there, north of us. So we went to a restaurant on a golf course that's kind of close to Flathead Lake, which is the big lake up there. It's very beautiful up there. It was a good dinner. I got sea bass, which is one of my favorites. My husband got something that I've never heard of before. I mean, it was veal, but it had Oscar. It was veal that was Oscar style. So Oscar style is béarnaise sauce with crab meat on it. So usually, I mean, I see it at steakhouses, but I've never seen it on veal. So that was an interesting take on it. It was good, but it's a long drive, and I had worked all day, so it kind of, it feels like a long drive. And then it's so dark. It's such a dark drive. There's so many like deer and animals that you're hoping not to hit with your vehicle. Like one of my friends that I had gone hiking with went out to eat on Thursday in a town like 20 minutes away from here with some friends, and on the way back they hit a deer. I mean, it's just so common. So it's a little stressful driving at night. I don't know, it's just so dark. I've just never driven anywhere else where it's so dark. I mean, it's good because you can see stars. Hopefully at some point we'll see Aurora Borealis this winter. I've never seen that. But when you go drive, it is like pitch black. Even with your brights on, I feel like I can't see anything. Oh, this one's terrible static. I'm not even really going to try with this one. It's so bad. I'm just going to set it over here. Let it rest. I don't know if that's a proven way to combat static, but it's what I do. Man, I'd had such a good run of kit ups without static. I guess I was due. I also pulled one color that's fairy dust. It's pretty close to another color in this kit. I just have to remember 3811 when I get there to see if I want to switch that out for this one. Or switch out for that one. I am not doing any other enhancements on this one because the one place that I would enhance this particular diamond painting is in the stars, and that's where this iridescent drill is going to go that we'll get to towards the end of the kitting up. So I'm good with that. Yeah, super staticky. Is it the time of year? Is it because it's fall? I just feel like I really haven't had a problem with static in so long. And since this is such a small kit, this is a lot of different colors. There's not a lot. I can already tell that this one's staticky. There's not a lot of drills in these bags. So it's like, just come out. I think I dumped that one everywhere. Let's see. So I started my job last week. I started on Wednesday. I think I just didn't want to work an entire week, my first week. But it was the first, I started on the first of the month. So, I mean, it made sense on one hand, but on the other hand, most people probably would start a different job on a Monday. I wanted one more Sunday where I didn't fall asleep knowing that I had to go to work the next week. But it's fine. I did a little bit of like training on Wednesday, like computer training on how they store their files and all that. And just procedures and how they do things. I mean, lawyering is kind of lawyering, so it's not like you have any training on that. I've been doing that for a long time, but so yeah, I mean, so far so good. I did not really have any. I was a little bit anxious about technology connection up here, right? Because it's in the middle of nowhere, and I'm working 100% remotely, and I have to have connectivity. So we have Starlink, and it works, but every once in a while it kind of like glitches out. So we're trying to figure out the best place to put it. I mean, Starlink tells you the best place to put it, but we might try to mount it higher, just to hopefully get rid of any glitching at all, if that's possible. I'm not sure if it is. Where is 613? Where did you go on me, 613? There you are. I broke them into piles in order, but then when I pushed everything over, they kind of got messed up. Look at, there's like barely any drills in that particular bag. I mean, they're also minor amounts. I'm already on the 18th. I guess, yeah, I'm already putting the lid on the 18th color. This is going quickly, which you know how much I love kitting up, so it's not a bad thing. I like kitting up more when I do videos though. It's more fun when I am talking rather than just sitting here in silence doing this for a half hour or however long it takes. But yeah, the technology has been okay. I also got a landline just because the cell phone service here is not always very good. Like if you have a conversation more than 5 minutes, it's probably going to drop, even though we have cell phone booster. So I'm able to talk to people on that. And I actually had one person tell me that even the landline wasn't very good, and that they had problems and they had canceled it. So that didn't make me feel great, because I have to be able to talk to people on the phone, as well as have internet connectivity. But I mean, I spent probably 3 hours on Friday on the phone with people, and I didn't have any problems at all. So yeah, have a landline for the first time in probably, I don't know, close to 20 years. Yeah, no, probably over 20 years. It's kind of a funny thing. I was wondering if I was going to get like telemarketing calls on it. None so far. I get way more on my cell phone than I do on the landline. I guess all the telemarketers gave up on the landlines, right? So this will be my first full Monday through Friday. I noticed last week that by Friday night I was so tired. I'm just not used to putting in the mental effort of working, and so I was exhausted on Friday night. And I'm thinking I'm really going to be exhausted this week after working 5 days instead of 3. I might be in trouble. So even though it snowed today, the fall leaves are still in effect. It didn't snow on the ground here, there's no snow on the ground, but there is up in the mountains like I showed in that last video. I'm guessing it's going to melt shortly because it's supposed to get back up to 70 later this week. But it looks so cool when the mountains are capped and have that snowy white cap on them. I'll show you a picture that I took from our property when we were there cutting wood. That is kind of it's the view from where our home will be built, so you can see what I'm talking about with the snow-capped mountains. But it snows much more early, I should say, not often, but also probably often, up in the mountains than it does on the valley floor. And actually, there was a winter storm warning this weekend, which is funny because it's October. But I guess they closed at Glacier National Park. They closed going to the Sun Road because it's not safe to pass because it snowed so much up there. So yeah, everybody told us once it gets to October, all bets are off. My husband and I have an informal predictions about what day we'll get actual snow here for the first time this year. I think mine was later than his, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I think I said maybe October 21st, and he said earlier than me, maybe the 14th, but I can't really remember. He was up here a couple years ago hunting in October, and it was 70 degrees for part of the week he was here, and then that same week it snowed 6 inches. So it apparently can turn quite quickly. I also I got by the restocks today. So I would anticipate that perchance the next video that you will see will be an unboxing. I picked up 2 kits from Diamond Art Club today in their restock. They were both kits that were on my wish list. So if you watch that video, you have heard me you had heard me talk about both of them. So I'm excited about that. Let me know. Oh, voice is going already. Hasn't even been very long today on this video. But let me know in the comments if you picked anything up during the restocks. Or if you picked anything up on the new release. For either this weekend, I guess it would be, or next weekend. I did not pick anything up on the new release. You can about bet I won't be picking anything up on the new release unless they do a big Christmas drop. And I'm trying. It would be nice to not pick anything up at all until Black Friday. But that's still, I guess it's not too far away, but it's still a ways away. I am excited for Black Friday because last year I wanted to watch the live stream that went until midnight, and I'm hoping that the ladies that did that last year will do it again this year. But I could not stay up that late because I was driving the next day from Kentucky to Texas to go back to my house, and it wasn't going to be a great idea. I think I left at like 4:30 in the morning or something. So it wasn't going to be a great idea to stay up until whatever that ended. So I would like to definitely take part in that this year. It is so crazy that Halloween is approaching this quickly. I don't think we're gonna get any trick-or-treaters. I mean, I think the average age of people in this valley is probably, there's 9:58. Oh. It's probably like approaching 70. And there are not a lot of kids. So, I mean, I asked somebody who went to the graduation at the local high school last year how many kids were in the graduating class, and she said 12. So I don't even think I will get any candy, because if I get candy, number one, I've never seen a kid in this little neighborhood that we live in, so I really don't think that it's going to happen. But number two, I will eat all the candy if we get any. That is not something I need to do. I have no willpower when it comes to candy. What is your all's favorite candy? I have many. Chocolate. I'll always take like sugary candy over chocolate candy. I mean, I like both, but chocolate candy, I mean, I see the neighbor's cat is sitting outside of our garage. This cat is always trying to get into our house. Apparently he's gonna probably go into our garage because the door's open right now. But back to Halloween candy. Hey, cameraman, do you want to go shut the garage door so that Big Red doesn't get in the garage? He's right outside of it. Okay, sorry. Okay, candy. All right, let's start with non-chocolate candy because I think that one's easier for me. I like Mike and Ike's a whole lot, and I like Everlasting Gobstoppers and Twizzlers, and what else? Lemon Heads. I mean, pretty much, I hate to admit it, pretty much everything. Like today I had one of those caramel suckers, like those green apple caramel suckers. Yeah, as far as chocolate candy goes, I think Kit Kats. Like as far as trick-or-treating candy, I've like never, I don't think I've ever bought like a full-size Kit Kat. But Kit Kats, peppermint patties are good. Like the little ones. I like when they give you those at restaurants when you're done. Ooh, Andy's Mints. I used to work at Olive Garden in like law school. And I used to eat a lot of those Andy's Mints. It was not good. Yeah. I mean, I even like candy corn. Like I am an equal opportunity sugar addict. Wow, moving right along. We're through 35. But this is 35 of 54. I'm excited to see what these iridescent drills look like. But yeah, sorry, I'm all over the place today. Let me know, what is your favorite Halloween candy? Also, let me know if your parents gave away something at Halloween that was embarrassing. Like if your parents were a dentist or was a dentist or is a dentist and gave out like toothbrushes. My parents, when I was younger, for many, many years, they owned a food distributorship. So like, you know, kind of like a way smaller version of like Cisco. And they thought that they were being so creative. And they gave away like cans of apple juice. Because they're like, oh, kids are so thirsty by the time they, you know, get to our house. And I'm just like, I always thought it was like the worst thing to hand out. I'm like, no, kids, and I was a kid then. I'm like, we want candy. We don't want apple juice. So yeah, for like years, they handed that out. We lived on top of a big hill when I was growing up. So their thought process was that, you know, the kids were thirsty by the time they got to the top of the hill, and it was good for them to stay hydrated and get something to drink. And I'm like, okay, like that was in the 80s, right? So now we know that that was just pure sugar. So it was just like candy, but they thought it was super unique. And yeah, I was never a fan, if you can't tell. But yeah, and then Thanksgiving is going to be around the corner right after that. I picked a good time of year to start working again because there's so much vacation time coming up this time of year. I don't know what we're going to do for Thanksgiving. We're not going anywhere. It was kind of mentioned that maybe a couple of the people that I went walking with this weekend, maybe we could all get together and do something for Thanksgiving, because a lot of the people that live up here aren't from here. So it's like a lot of times their families, you know, it's also not an easy place to get to, right? Like it's going to take some time to get here from anywhere. Usually a lot of places it's going to be 2 flights, and then regardless of which airport you fly into, Kalispell or Missoula, you're looking at least an hour drive after that. Probably more like an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours if the weather's not good. So it is not an easy place to get to. So a lot of people that do stay here all winter don't end up having family come into town, because it's just too much of a pain for family who gets like, you know, a nice long 4-day weekend, but it's still like by the time they would get here, they would have to turn around and leave. And this one's got a ton of static in it, and it's got a lot of drills. We'll see how many we can get in here. Yeah, we're also not going anywhere for Christmas. I am going to have to go back to Texas. Probably in early November. We'll see. I need to try to find the plane tickets coming out of here are way more expensive than the plane tickets coming here, I've determined. But I need to go to the place I'm working and meet the people that I'm kind of going to be working with. This one's out of order. So I'm going to go back sometime in early November. That's going to be weird to go back to a place that you lived for 6 years that you don't live anymore. And I'm really not pumped about going there. I mean, it's going to be hot probably, and it's probably going to be alarmingly crowded because it's so desolate here that even though we haven't lived here very long, even when we go to like a normal size city, which is a small city like Kalispell, I think that the traffic is so bad. And I'm like, how does this happen when I worked in downtown Dallas just a few months ago? Looks like my camera battery is about to die. So, and my husband's throwing logs into the house through this like trapdoor thing we have. So hold please while I pop in my other battery. And we're back. This battery only has like 27%. So you're about to see me roll through this real quick in an attempt. I somehow got these out of order. Okay, I'm on 42. I gotta get through 54. If this cuts off before the end. I'll just have to come back and film it after I only have 2 batteries, so after they've charged, which would be no fun. I do not want to have to do that, but I want to get to the iridescent drill. If there wasn't an iridescent drill in here, I could probably get away with just cutting it off, but everybody's going to want to see that. 3765. There's like 5 of these in here. Yeah, these batteries tend to go pretty quickly, especially when they're not all the way charged, as this one is not. The one that I started with today was 100% charged though, and I didn't set a timer, but I don't feel like this kitten chat is exceedingly long. Okay. Apparently, yeah, our neighbor's cat is like super, like, I guess badass. He like is always hunting mice, and he's always trying to get in our house and always trying to get in our garage. And there's I don't know if I've talked about it before, but there's like, I think I did. There's like a panel on the side of this rental that you can open and throw wood into a box for the wood stove. And when my battery was dead, my husband came in and told me that the cat, we call him Big Red because he's a giant like red striped cat, but we don't actually know what his name is, so we just made it up. He told me that Big Red tried to jump through the hole where we throw wood into the box next to our wood stove. He tried to get into our house by jumping through that. So, I mean, the other day I went outside and he was on the roof of our garage. So he is, I mean, they let him in at night as far as I can tell. I've never seen him at night, but I mean, he just roams. And like, we're not that far from a fairly busy street. I would not do that with my own pets. I don't know though. This cat, like, he's got street smarts, I swear. And I've never seen him. I've seen him outside 100 times. I've never seen him go anywhere near a road. So I don't know. Maybe he's just, maybe the owners know that he's, not going to go in the street. I don't know. I wouldn't chance it myself, but he seems to be a cat that probably would be pretty miserable being inside all the time too. He's always investigating things. So, I mean, I know whose cat it is. It's our next door neighbor, but people in Montana often keep to themselves, so I don't know a lot about the neighbor. I mean, I am just not even trying to get staticky drills out. I am just moving along. We're through 48. We're almost a couple more and we'll be in these special drills. Let me pull these down here. Sorry that I'm kind of rushing through this, y'all, but I like to have things kitted up, and I certainly don't want to have to wait to finish this video and finish kitting up so that I can charge a battery. I don't have that kind of patience. I also think, odds are, I'm probably going to start working on this one tonight. So I'd like to get started on it. If I don't start it tonight, I'll definitely start it tomorrow morning. I've been waking up, I've been waking up since I started working again at 4:45 because I like to have some time to myself in the morning before I just jump right into work. I still have been starting work at 6, which is 7 in Dallas, and I think I did something really smart. I set my computer time for Dallas time because then I don't have to it's not very hard, right? We're an hour, I always say it the wrong way. We're an hour behind Dallas, but everybody that I talk to, insurance adjusters, other attorneys, they're all pretty much on Central Time. So if I just set my computer to Central Time, I can talk to them as if we're on the same time, and I don't have to do the whole, well, we can this time Mountain or your time. I just don't like to do that. So I'm just ignoring the fact that I'm in a different time zone and proceeding like I'm not. And quite frankly, unless it's not a secret that I'm in a different time zone. Oh, good. Okay, I just looked at my battery. It said 20%. Okay, I think we should be good. It's not a secret that I'm in a different time zone, but I'm also just not going to offer it up that I'm working 100% remotely unless somebody asks me. It's just, they're on a need-to-know basis, I guess. I don't really care. I just don't want them to... I don't know. I don't want other attorneys to think I'm never going to come back to try a case and that I want to settle everything. Okay, we are into this. I think it's called a metallic. I'm not sure what it's called. You all let me know. But this L5200, those are going to be the stars. And I am... Oh, shoot. This bag was open. Or I cut it in the wrong spot. No, I didn't cut it in the wrong spot. This bag was just somewhat open, and I just shook it, and drills went everywhere. Okay, great. Well, I'll pick those up later, the ones that are not. But I still have quite a few in here, so at least there's that. Thank you to Diamond Art Club for putting extra drills in bags for things like that that happen. That is going to be so cool. I've never used iridescence for stars. I think it's going to look really good. There's a ton of stars. I'm half tempted to do all those first, but I probably won't because I don't know. I might, once I get to the sky, I might do all of them because it seems silly to me to jump back and forth on every single square that I do and like keep pouring those iridescents into trays when they're just kind of littered throughout the sky and they stand out so easily that, yeah, I'm gonna do them all at once when I do them. And then we had this purple, light purple fairy dust, and then I'm gonna do this light blue fairy dust, and then the last one is this deep purple fairy dust. I also have this fairy dust that I forgot to look at, but I pulled it, and it is 3811, and we had 3814. So they are not similar. I thought they'd be more similar than that. So I think probably I'll set these to the side and I won't use those because they're not very similar. We'll save all the subbing in of extra drills for Santa's list when I do that one. Oh my gosh, look at that. There's so much. I'm not even going to open this one. Yes, I am. Ugh. I've done all the things. The freezer, the pricking the holes, the freezer doesn't work. The dryer sheet thing is annoying. So I guess I'm just gonna stick with my pour out the drills you can and then set the bag aside and deal with it when you need more of a color, but that one is exceedingly bad. I mean, there's a ton of static in there. All right, I'm gonna stop talking about it because everybody's dealt with static. Nobody likes it. I am not unique. Last one. That might be a record for kitting up 54 colors for me. The fear of battery death is real. So before my camera runs out of batteries again, that is this kit kitted up. Thanks for hanging out with me and staying till the end. Please hit the like button or share this. I'm guessing if you stayed it this far, you've probably already subscribed. I really appreciate it. If you hit the like or share, it'll help out the channel, help me grow, and I will see you with another video on Wednesday. Thanks so much, everyone. Until next time, happy diamond painting.